there. That was a dope. Actually, let me run it one more time. Alright. Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Howell, Bashim Shai. Bashim Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, true well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the pre Shimon, this week's topic is going to be entitled, You Still Can't See the Israelite Thing, eh? And, hey man, just putting together a lesson before camp real quick. I was meditating what I should go into, and I'm gonna be honest. This lesson really took me no less than a couple minutes to put together because I'm like it's so plain to us, through the grace and power of Yahweh about Shem Yahushua. But today in 2023, this is still a stumbling block that you're gonna have Israelites, chosen people of the Most High, look like the other nations. Now, why did I show this man Plastides' name dance move in Russia? Why did I show him? In the beginning, right? Because he's an Israelite. He's an Israelite foreigner. He's a man that has the appearance of an Edomite. But let me ask you this: can you do the moves in the beginning like that? You can't. Come on, that's an Israelite thing. You can't say, okay, 1, 2, now hit this move, and that ain't no shit you could coach. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that got to be in you, and that spirit, that jazz, has to come from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, and that jazz is only given to Israelites, man. Okay, you can't fake it, you can't imitate it, you can't clone it. The Spirit of the Lord, all right, the salt, okay, is given to his people. Now, this is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 64, going into the curses, right? So this is what happened if we do not serve the law, statutes, and commandments. Deuteronomy 28, 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, every nation, all right? There's not a nation that you're going to run into, oh shit, those Israelites don't dwell there. No, Israel is in every nation scattered amongst all people, all right? It says, from the one end of the earth even onto the other end, even onto the other. What's the end of the earth? The uttermost west. Okay, the uttermost west. So we scattered over here in the Americas, and we're scattered over there in the east. All right, Russia is in the east. It says, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And our people are worshiping all sorts of abomination. All right, they mingled amongst other nations. All right, they took on their likeness, appearance, and their deities. You see? But even among them, some of them you still have what? You have them still worshiping the Lord. There'll be a bunch of so-called East Indians bowing down to a monkey, but then you have this one guy, for some reason, he can't do that. He's like, nah, man, I gotta bow down to the Lord. Then you come across the street, oh, the Lord's a black man, and next thing you know, he's woken up to the truth. But guess what? He's got hit with the part of the curses to be cursed to look like the other nations. You see? And we have to be open to that understanding. We have to be open to that understanding, man. That's how come I'm going to bring it out. Hey, we sound like a broken record. I know we sound like a broken record to a lot of people. Hey, man, but that's what the prophets did. That's what the prophets do. Keep repeating the word of the Lord till things come to pass. We got to prophesy. All right, till Heavenly Father returns, the Heavenly Father's Son's return. 1 John 4 and 1, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. It's written in the book of Romans that it says the Spirit bear witness that we're the people of the Most High. Then you jump over to Revelations, the 19th chapter, the 10th verse. It tells you that the Spirit of Yahushua is the Spirit of prophecy. So the prophecies are what lets you know that we are the people. They linking up with the curses no matter what they look like. They got that jazz, that salt, no matter what they look like. Hey, man, then a high probability that's an Israelite. There's no Edomite moving like that, man. There's no Edomite that's, come on, like, but guess what? You're going to have Israelites out there teaching that, no, he's just a white man that could dance. Don't you never heard the movie White Man Can't Jump? Guess what? They can't do a lot of things either. Dance, so on, And I'm not just trying to say, we subjected only to being like entertainers, but whatever Jake does, they excel in. So they're not just going to be some average dancer. They're going to be excelling at whatever they do. And that's really a telltale sign, like, that, hey, man, that's a Jake right there. You got Elvis Presley, you got Eminem, Justin Bieber. I'm saying these names because I know that would trigger a lot of Israelites out there. And, it's not boggles me, but it's just like the Lord wasn't playing with Isaiah 6 and 9, man. Like, to really, for you to not really see this, like, now, like how obvious it could be, just look at Blake Griffin's lineage. It's just crazy to me, but hey, man, this is the thing though. The Most High seals up your mind to this. You'll never get it. You'll forever think that all Israelites are gonna be dark skinned, looking like Shaft and shit. You're never gonna open. A lot of Israelites don't even think the Northerners, the Latin tribes, are part of Israel. So that's even a deep, darker delusion. But thanks, for the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, most of the people out in the One West understand that the Negroes, Latinos, are the Native Americans. Now we just got to get them over the hump that, look, we're scattered, man. We're scattered and we're not going to look all the same. Can you get that through your thick skull? Well, you can't really unless the Most High opens your mind to it. Nehemiah 1 and 8. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. This is textbook, man. And you know what's crazy? You have a lot of Christians that believe now when they hear the term Gentiles, they think that's talking about the natural Gentiles. The problem is they're not deep diving into the Old Testament. But even when you go into the New Testament, it speaks about us being scattered. So you got bugged out Israelites and you got bugged out wacky tacky Christians that hear these scriptures, Gentiles and heathens, and don't know when to differentiate the two. Thankfully, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua set up his servants, the prophets, apostles, the elders on down, the brothers that's teaching under the banner of great millstone and the like mind, to give you the understanding. Okay? Because at the end of the day, this thing does come down to your seed. It's a genealogy thing. You can't be a spiritual Israelite. Well, when I'm saying that you have Israelites that look like the other nations, you got to try their spirit. I'm still saying that somewhere in their genealogy, all right, you go back far enough, you're going to get one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel on their father's lineage. Okay? Jeremiah 15:17. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria. Because what? The kingdom of Israel was rent into two. You had the northern kingdom, which are the northern tribes, 10 tribes, Ephraim on down to Issachar. Then you had the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So it said first the king of Assyria. So when you go into the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, it tells you that the northern kingdom, to flee Assyrian captivity, all right, came over here to the Americas, what they call Ashtoreth. Okay, how did they know about this land? Because King Solomon used to have his naval servants, all right, the Hamites, come to this land, the land of Ophir, and get all precious different items and bring them back. So they knew those routes. They knew how to go around the Horn of Africa and such. And really, the Lord carried the waves, all right, to make the waters steady that they could come here in the Americas. So they was already scattered from that time. All right. It says, and matter of fact, the Assyrians was also doing something called importation and deportation. When you go into the secular history, to quell revolutions or revolts, what the Assyrian Empire would do, all right, is, let's say you're revolting and you are one of the, a Hamite nation, you're revolting, and then you are an Israelite nation revolting. Well, guess what? We'll take the Hamites out their land, put them in the Israelite land where they can't understand shit. Take the Israelites out, put them in the Hamite land where they can't understand shit. Now nobody could come together and revolt. That's what something the Assyrians was doing. Deportation and importation to confuse people, because you don't know their languages, you don't know the customs, That's how come you have the situation with the Samaritan woman. She was one of them, where her lineage was the Samaritans that were imported into the land of Israel and adopted, okay, when you go into the book of Kings, adopted, all right, our religion, because what? When they were put there, they wouldn't keep our laws, statutes, and commandments. The land was fucking them up. That's when they had to say, oh shit, wait a minute, we got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And, they were being attacked by wild beasts and such like that. So they put a priest over there to let them know, all right, this is what you got to do. Not even a true priest, not even a true Levite at the time, It says, and last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, have broken his bones. So we got fucked up by the Assyrians. We got fucked up by the Assyrians that are in Babylon, because the Babylonians at that time were really Assyrians too. All right, that broke up now the southern kingdom. You see? So through all these captivities, you got to remember, not everybody's just going to stand around and stay captive. People are going to flee, run, hide, and mingle themselves amongst other nations and breed with their women. And so we've been mingling and mixing up way back when. One thing about an Israelite is we love to fuck. Even more under stress and poverty. That's when Jake get to popping, right? They had a lot of what they call the Netflix babies when COVID happened and shit. People thought the world was over. What Jake was doing? Fucking and multiplying. See? So we do that with all the nations of the women of the world, all right? And now we scattered everywhere. That's how come when you read about that mixed multitude in the Revelations, the 7th chapter, it's talking about Jacob, Israel. To back that, all you have to do is go to 2nd Ezra 3 and 16. It tells you that Jacob became a great multitude. All right, so that's the multitude you're reading about in Revelations, the 7th chapter. This book of Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. All right, now this is Yahushua going to what happened during 70 AD. Well, during the Roman persecution time. Right, we fled away captive into different parts of Western Africa. And that was brought over here. So it's been, come on, from then to now, you think all of us is going to still look the same and not have mingled ourselves? It's common sense. It says, in Jerusalem shall be trodden, or I guess common sense isn't common. It says, in Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. We got stomped the fuck out during 70 AD. And guess what Yahushua said? Look, when the enemy come in like a flood, flee in the wilderness. He ain't say stay and fight. The Sakari did that dumb shit. Fucked us up. They sieged the city. And what does the Sakari people do? They threw away all the grain, man, to try to force the people to fight. That was a stupid idea. So we couldn't even hold out on the siege. Not everybody got the spirit to rebel and fight and shit like that, you know? But the point is, we've been scattered throughout all different captivities. We flee persecution from one nation to the next, and we've been mingling ever since, man. That's how come I could open this video with this guy from Russia hitting the moves that, you know, shit, a lot of brothers watching the video, they can't hit the moves, right? But they know, okay, well, that's a Jake. You know, we might use different other things. I like, you know, Bobby Flay, the way Bobby Flay he cook real jazzy like an Israelite. Why do I say that? You know, when I used to watch a cooking channel, a lot of them be measuring, mainly the heathens, you know, the Asian, so-called Asian women, 3 quarts of this and 2 tablespoons of salt. Jake don't fucking cook like that, man. You just looking and eyeballing shit and just going with the spirit. See, so that's how Bobby Flay cooks. So I was like, damn, okay, he could be, you know, an Israelite, you know. So let's see now. Matthew 13 and 25. But while men slept, his enemy came. Let me not touch. Let me read it. Go ahead. All right, let me read it. Matthew 13 and 25. But while men slept, his enemy came. This is going into us coming over here in the Americas during slavery. It says, and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way, because sowing, planting seeds is implying of having sex with a woman. So your enemy came, and the same way you will sow seed into the earth, sowed their seed in our woman. And what came forth was babies that look like Israelites. Because, you know, wheat and tares are very identical. You know, until a certain part, you know, then they start to differentiate. But they're very identical. I think you have to take off the husk to really see, okay, damn, that's a wheat, that's a tare. But apart from that, they look very similar, except one is not, you know, one can make bread, the other one could pretty much destroy you. So that's what it's going into, that you also have Israelites. I mean, you also have heathens that look just like straight up Israelites. You can't tell, man, just from the outside appearance of what truly somebody is from their nationality. You can't tell, okay, this is his nationality because he's so-called black or so-called white or so-called Asian. You could say a predominantly amount of this people is this nation, or predominantly amount of this people is that nation. But that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to be right, because there's been sowing of tares. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tears also. See? So when it grew up, it looked like tears. The tears and the wheats were looking identical. So the servant of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath the tears? He said unto them, An enemy hath done it. Which was this at the time, this was illegal to do something like this in someone's um in field, you know. He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Right? So we can't do the selecting. You know, we could, this word click with you no matter what you look like. You in there. But ultimately, the sifting of the wheat and the tares is not going to be done by us. It says, Let both grow together until the harvest. When is the harvest? The harvest is the end of the world. How shall I come back? So the Lord is saying, let them all mingle together, but in the end of the world, they will be separated. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, the angels, gather ye together the first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So you're going to have dudes being destroyed, the heathens that look like, I'm talking about Edomites that look straight up like Shaft, or what have you. Okay, Moabites looking like a straight up northern kingdom. So at the end of the day, how about Shem Yahushua? Them angels they're gonna destroy the ones that are meant to be destroyed, and the ones that are meant to be preserved, no matter what they look like. Again, that mixed multitude will be preserved, will be delivered. So you brothers out there that have, faces of the other nation, okay, you're dealing with a little curse right now. Okay, but guess what? Yahushua is not coming back to deliver bodies; he's coming back to deliver spirits. And you keep doing the work of the Lord, that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua will do, because he's not unrighteous to forget your works. But you got to finish it. We all got to finish this thing. This thing, we have to do it till the very end, to our last dying breath. Then, peradventure, Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall have mercy upon us. Alright, so that was a quick lesson. Let me take off the camp. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity, and Shalom.